Hi guys, I'm currently in Australia, and those of you who have been following my channel would know that I've been experimenting selling put options on Nvidia. So far I've sold 5 put options and I've collected a total premium of about USD $750. But on my 5th put options, I got a sign because Nvidia dropped below my strike price of $210. That means I was obligated to buy 100 shares of Nvidia at $210 per share, totaling 21,000 USD. Now this was always part of the plan because I knew that if I consistently sold put options, I would eventually get assigned the underlying shares. And Nvidia was a company that was comfortable holding on to. After I was assigned 100 Nvidia shares, I moved on to the second part of the wheel strategy, and that was to sell covered calls. In other words, instead of being paid to potentially buy 100 Nvidia shares, now I'm being paid to potentially have someone buy my 100 Nvidia shares. As of this recording, I've sold 2 covered calls, collecting a total premium of about 260 USD. At the moment, my situation is fairly comfortable. I got assigned Nvidia shares at 210 USD. However, my covered call strike price is at $217.50. If Nvidia price rises above my strike price, I will earn $750 per share, totaling 750 USD. That is if my options got called away. And on top of that, I get to keep all the premiums I've collected so far. So at this moment, if my option was to be called away, it would not be an issue for me at all. While monitoring my call options, a possible scenario did come to mind. What if the price of Nvidia keeps falling after assignment? This is where things become very challenging. Consider this, instead of Nvidia hovering around the current price of 205 USD, what if Nvidia drops to 180 USD or even lower? At that point, selling covered calls will be challenging because the strike price that will allow me to collect meaningful premium will likely be below my purchase price. From what I've learned so far, there are a few things that I could do. Number one is to stop selling call options and wait for the price of Nvidia to recover. Number two, to continue selling call options, continue to collect premiums, but accept the possibility that I could sell 100 Nvidia shares at a loss. However, there is a third option, and that is to roll my call options further into the future, trying to collect more premium while avoiding getting called away. For those unfamiliar with rolling options, here is a quick explanation. Let's go back to the hypothetical situation where Nvidia is now at a price of 180 USD. And let's say I sold a call option with a strike price of $185 USD. Let's also suppose that Nvidia price starts to shoot up to $195 USD. If I do nothing, then my shares will be called away and I will suffer an actual loss. That is not what I want. So, before expiration date, what I could do is to buy back that call option so that my shares will not be called away. However, buying back that call option would likely cost more than what I originally sold it for, thereby making a loss in premiums collected. I can then sell another call options with a later expiry date at a higher strike price and collecting more premiums. But more importantly, I avoid getting called away at 195 USD, suffering an actual loss. This process is known as rolling. But rolling doesn't magically avoid losses. In many cases, you are accepting a premium loss in exchange for more time and potentially a better outcome at a later date. I haven't had to do this yet, but it's a tool that real strategy traders use to manage their positions. At this stage, I'm still learning, but it reinforces the importance of selecting the right stock for selling options. If I'm going to run the real strategy on a long-term basis, it is important that I choose companies that I'm comfortable holding on to in case things don't turn out as planned for me. Before I started this experiment on selling options, my entire focus was to collect as much premiums as I can. Now I'm starting to realize that what happens after assignment is even more important. Fortunately for me, Nvidia hasn't dropped enough for me to face this scenario yet. For now, I'm still able to sell covered calls at above my assigned price. But I'm curious, for those who are much more experienced doing this, what would you do? If, like me, you were assigned at $210 price and the price of the share dropped to 180 or even lower, what would you do? Let me know in the comments below. As I'm documenting my experiment selling options, I'd love to hear how others would manage this situation where their share prices has dropped significantly below their assigned price as they're executing the real strategy.